is the Droid Racing Challenge, which is an annual competition between teams from all across Australia and some international teams that gather around in QT in Brisbane to race against each other using droids, which are essentially small cars that can autonomously navigate around a track. So the thing which interested me about DRC was the fact that it was really an opportunity for me to apply a lot of the things that I've been learning in uni into the real world. And it was also autonomous cars. There's lots of media and lots of interest, and they're definitely, I guess, part of the future.
DRC has been running since 2016. It's basically based around robotic vision. So the idea of it is to get all of these university teams from all around to just sort of come together, sort of fostering that engineering sort of mindset. We try to change it up each year, so there's a few more challenges. You got to stay on your toes a little bit. There's always a little challenge thrown in. This competition is probably one of the better ones that we've had, or probably the best one we've had actually, because we've had more teams. UTS, University of New South Wales, University of Auckland is one that we really like to get that international appeal. And just like the competition itself was so much better. Like last year we had most people like weren't even finishing. Here, like, you know, you come in on the day and already they're just like blitzing around, and it was great.
What appeals to me so much about these kinds of competitions is that it really brings to heart and shows the true intention of mechatronics, where it's the combination of both hardware, electrical and software all combined to make one robust system.
The software was really entertaining because it was the part that wasn't super frustrating to debug. Because with software, it either works or it doesn't work, and it's because your code is bad or your code is good. You know, with the hardware side of things, your cable could be slightly 2 degrees to the left and therefore doesn't want to connect, or something else, the camera hates you that day. Software is much more easy to control and much more visible changes as well when you use it. I'm a second-year computer science student, so I did most of the development initially. Later on in the process, I got a lot of help with writing the code, but essentially I set up the baseline for the software development. The software was very interesting because many of the things that you try and you think that they might work in your head, when you put them out on the field, they might not always work. And so one interesting part of the software was designing a system that you could quickly plug in a module and then replay it, or maybe insert another piece of code or remove it if it didn't work. And using version management and using well-structured code allowed that to be possible.
In terms of the software, we used Python, OpenCV. The algorithm did take a number of iterations to complete, and there was this fine-tuning after fine-tuning, and it never really finished until the very last seconds in the quarterfinals where it finally came together. So the biggest challenge for our current robot is mainly the field of view and also the quality of the image. Not so much the camera itself, but because we're going at higher speeds, the camera starts to blur and the colors start to blur into the floor as well. Especially since we saw the testing track earlier today, the floor and the blue color are actually fairly similar. And so that is probably the biggest problem.
For our robot, the biggest challenge was our turning. So we always struggled to get the turning right, and we had like many doubts whether it was the servo, the wheels, the code itself. So trying to decide what the main reason was actually a really big issue.
Compared to last year, I'd say that this year we were a lot more prepared and organised. So last year it was our first time entering, so we didn't really know much about DRC, what it was going to be like. But this year, with experience from last year, we saw our team, how they approached it, and we've really been able to learn a lot from that experience last year and build on top of it this year for a much better droid, much more prepared, more organised, a lot better than last year.
One of our big successes was our robot itself is really well designed. So we could cut off power for the motors and we could reach stuff quite accessibly. So if something breaks down, it doesn't take too long to disassemble and fix.
So in terms of the successes of this robot, I would say probably one of the big ones is the overall design, mechanical aspects, and where our components are placed. So we've been able to use SolidWorks to design the robot beforehand, and 3D print and use laser cutters to make this canopy, which opens up and where we can access our electronic components easily. And because one of our teammates did it last year, he knows where each component should be, and so that's easily accessible and you can focus them easily. So for us, everyone's given us a lot of comments on how a robot looks and the fact we have changed. So I would definitely say that would be a major success. In terms of anything else, I would say just the fact we were able to get here at this point. 3 of us are first years. The fact that we're here competing, and it's a success in itself. And, we may not be the best team on the track, but we put a lot of hard work into this, and we're really proud of what we're able to accomplish. I would say that's probably our most, our best success. So DRC is a really enjoyable experience, no matter what your background is, because there's plenty of jobs to do. Obviously, there's the mechatronics side of things where you have to build the robot and prepare it. But then there's also the software side of things, which obviously requires a bit of background there. But it's a great comp to learn, and if you're willing to put into the team, everybody's always happy to help you out.
The reason why DRC is such a great challenge is because you simply learn so much from it just by even participating. You learn through all the hardware, the mechanical, the electrical, the software. Even if you can't get it to move, that in itself is already a fairly big feat.
I'm going to picture this. You're getting to Brisbane. Brisbane is a lovely city. We didn't expect that, but it's actually really nice. It's such an experience to learn.
Being a first year, I found that this competition gave me the practical experience that first year subjects tend to lack. So in my first year subject now, it's very much theoretical, but this gave me the chance to actually play around in the Fab Lab, play around in code, and just get the chance to build up some skills.
Honestly, this has been probably the best DLC that we've had. It's run pretty smoothly. Teams have been fantastic, especially us. And honestly, just a good solid day.
So if you're on the fence about deciding whether or not you want to commit, this time to doing DRC, I'd say definitely go for it. It's definitely a very, very worthwhile experience. You learn a lot. You will meet, some amazing people, hopefully. And it's all around, I'd definitely say it's more valuable than anything that you'd learn in class. It's a very good experience.